Folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It's Thursday, April 9th here in central Oklahoma, and we're getting through our hives, checking them out, looking for swarm cells. So by now you've seen me do a couple of splits and get through some of that. But today we're going to be checking on the Tiny Swarm, and Tiny Swarm is hive number 5, Tiny Swarm 2019, if you want to check out that playlist and see the evolution of that hive. We combined hive 11 on top of hive number 5 because hive 11 was a drone laying queen, and we needed to correct that. Couldn't find the queen in 11, went all through it, reduced it down to like 1 deep, and I think I had it 1 deep already, and moved it over on top of hive 5, and I did a newspaper combine on that. So we're going to get in hive 5 and see if they've gone through the newspaper and where that queen is at, if she's moved up or if she's still in the bottom, and just check it out and see what it looks like. So let's get in there and see what we find. Okay, here's where hive 11 was. We got us a nuke box here now, and that's a split off of this hive number 14 right here, and I did that yesterday. And that's the one where I got all the bee stings. And I got my full suit on today. I learned my lesson. And the other nuke from that split is right here, hive 2. And the first split we pulled out of there was right there, hive number 1, and that has the original queen that's got a green mark on her. So that's what we did yesterday. So let's get in here to hive 5. Okay, so the wind has switched to the north today, and it's cooled off. It's probably getting down around 65, 60 degrees or so. And the weather trend is coming down cooler. Today's Thursday. I think Monday and Tuesday it's supposed to get down into the 30s with a chance of a freeze. But I don't think it's going to freeze. So we'll probably plant our garden sometime after that, and also get our little chicks out into their introductory pen. Let's see what we've got going on in here. Probably don't need much smoke. So this hive doesn't have a huge population. Quite a few bees up there. Get that hive beetle. I'm going to give them just a little. So most of our bees are concentrated right in here. Got quite a few empty frames. So let's lean this forward and check out the newspaper situation. Yeah, so they've ate through most of the middle. Let's go ahead and get this off of here. So that's what we're looking at. All right, so the queen was in here. We'll go ahead and go through this bottom and see if we find the queen. It's an empty frame, some old comb. And this one's empty. Totally empty. Another totally empty frame. They're trying to be a little temperamental and come up after me. Just a little bit of pollen on this side. Not much. And here we've got us a brood frame. She's put some drones in here. Most of this is pollen around here, and all this is brood. Good shot of that. Here's your brood here, and this is pollen right in here, and pollen all down around here. There's no eggs on this frame. She hadn't been on there in a while. And this has emerged brood. It's all come out right here, and it's still some left around the outside that hasn't quite yet emerged. So these are empty in the middle. I'm looking for eggs. Cloudy right now, so I have a hard time seeing in there. I'm not seeing any eggs, I don't think. And here's a completely laid up brood frame. There's a few backfilled larvae in here where she's gone back and laid in an empty cell. And there's white larvae in there. See, there's some right there. See the white larvae in there towards the top. It's another brood frame. There's some paper from the last combine I did. See if I can spot the queen. Don't see her. Okay, I see eggs on this frame, so she's liable to be right in here. So this whole frame, all those empty cells, have an egg in them. Or a very young larva. Oh, here we go. We're in business. There she is, last year's queen marked green. She's a nice looking one. So let's get her back in here. So now we'll get the top back on here, the top deep, and then we'll take a quick look at it and see how the drone cells are coming along, if they're mostly emerging now from the drone laying queen. So now they won't be impeded to flow back and forth as much because that newspaper's gone, but it was mostly gone here in the middle and covered on the sides, but there's not many bees out here. The bee's temperament in the yard right now is not very good. The nectar flow must have slowed down a little bit. Empty. So good, there's some honey. I was concerned about this hive having food stores. Here's another one. Well, this side's empty, but there's quite a bit of honey right there. So they're not starving. So here's nectar they're putting in here, shiny nectar. And we ought to be getting to some brood here, yeah. So there's from our drone layer. There's still a few left. See these drones walking around on here? And there's a few on that side too. So they haven't quite come out. So a drone has the longest development of all the bees. I don't remember the days exactly. I think it's 24. And the queen is the shortest, and the worker I think is 21. So they've got nectar here they can feed off of. Let's go one more, two more. just to check out the bees in here. So there's some pollen and more honey. I'll be darned. What I found. Surely that's not that same queen. Well, that's no good. So she's got to be the drone layer. Let me get her out of there. And I want to find that other queen just in case. I don't want to kill a queen for no reason. Crazy. When I moved that over here, I looked at it close. Made sure there wasn't a queen in there. She looked lighter and longer than the one I found down here. I think that queen was on this frame. Well, that's about where I pulled that one from. So maybe she just went up. I think it's a different one though. She'll be easy to spot with that green dot. I think she was on this next frame right here. She was on this side right here. She's not there now. I think that's the same queen. She just went straight up. Yeah, no queen. Go back through just to be certain. Yeah. She wasn't over here. Boy, I about talked myself into thinking I had another queen and just about pinched her right there, and she's the same one. And this hive is getting hot. They're not happy. So let's get her back in there. Okay, she's right there on the bottom. I guess with that newspaper gone, she wanted to get up there and check out what was going on up there. Let's see. I've got comb touching right here. I want to move that. Make sure she ain't on there. I want to swap it around this way. Looks like that's the way it belonged, and I just put it in backwards. Okay, so this hive could be reduced into a single deep. With the nectar flow kicking in right now, I'm going to go ahead and let them go for a while and see if they start recovering really well. And if not, I'll go ahead and reduce it. But that's a 1-year-old queen. She's in her prime. She should be laying a lot. And another thing I could do is give them a frame of brood, but there was quite a bit of brood in there. So once those bees start emerging and their population gets up, they can start bringing in the resources and get this built up faster. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you liked it. So give me a thumbs up if you would, and subscribe on the way out. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.